Chef Lalanne, owner of the Canteen Bar and Grill in North Platte. Join us now for fabulous, unique, original recipes created by the chef.
Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Chef Lalanne. Today we're going to do another pasta, a little bit more complicated, but if you really simplify it, it's not that complicated. It just looks like a lot of ingredients. We're going to make raviolis. We're going to make a pumpkin ravioli. What I've done is I've taken a pumpkin and steamed it off, pureed it. This is one of those apple pie pumpkins, so it's fresh. You can use canned if you want, but I prefer this. We've got some ricotta cheese that we've drained. We've got a little mascarpone, which is like a really rich Italian cream cheese. We've got a little butter and sage. This is going to be our sauce at the end. We've got some cheeses we're going to put in there. We've got some Parmesan and a little bit of mozzarella. That's also going to go in the mixture with some parsley, a little salt and pepper, a little olive oil. And then we've got what I call the tube of pasta. And this is something we buy out of Denver that's already pre-made. This way we can cut different shapes. We can make tortellinis. We can make fettuccine with this. So we buy this in tubes, and these are people that all they do is make fresh pasta for us. And but if you want to, you can make it at home. If you have a roller, you can roll it out and dry it and make your own. All right, we're going to start out with our pumpkin. Let's do maybe 2-3 cups of our pumpkin puree. This looks pretty good. We'll just leave that in there so we can go use that. Probably use a good cup, and again, I've drained the ricotta, so it's nice and fluffy. We're going to add some mascarpone. This is just going to give it some richness. We don't even need to add this, but I'm kind of going for it because I think it's kind of fun. And I've seen a lot of different recipes that have a lot of different things in them, from cinnamon and nutmeg and crushed cookies and all kinds of stuff. Fresh parsley, touch of olive oil, extra virgin, please. A little salt. Not too much again, because we're going to add some cheeses to this too, some Parmesan. About 10-15 turns of fresh ground pepper. Just a little bit of Parmesan. I don't want a whole lot in there, because I don't think it needs it. And some mozzarella. Now, I've seen this both ways. You can either do shredded mozzarella or you can cube it. And then we're going to just kind of lightly fold this together. We're going to take a nice little taste of it, make sure it's seasoned properly. And then we're going to be ready for our, making our raviolis. All right, we've gone ahead and cut our sheets of pasta. We're going to go ahead and put a little cornmeal. You can use some semolina or even some flour if you like. Our water is boiling over here with some salted boiling water. We're going to go ahead and lay this down. Take our plastic right off of our pasta sheet, like so. Now, basically what we're going to do, we've cut another piece almost exactly the same size. We want ravs that are going to be about this big. So we're going to go a nice little pocket of filling every so little units, like so. All right, now what we want to do is just take a finger and you want to kind of go right around the inside. You can use a little pastry brush if you want. This works fine. You can use water too, but this will help it stick a little bit better together. And then we're going to get ready for the other piece of pasta. All right, now we've got our other piece of pasta. We're going to go ahead and lay down, try to match them up as closely as we can. And we're just going to go ahead and press down right around each piece. We can trim these too a little bit if there's a little bit extra around the edges, which is just kind of fine. Kind of see what I'm doing here. We're going to also finish these with a fork after I cut these. We want to get them nice individual, as you can see what I'm doing there. All right, then what we want to do is go ahead and take your knife. If you have a cutter for this, you can go ahead and do that. We're going to just make sure it's completely off there. And then we're just going to go ahead and take our fork and go around the outside just to make sure we've got a nice sealed edge. And there's going to be our raviolis right there. All right, we've got a nice gentle rolling boil, just really light. We're going to go ahead and drop these in. These are going to take about 6 to 8 minutes. And we're gonna do maybe enough here for 4 orders. I don't know how many I dropped in there, but when they start to kind of float, that's gonna know when they're done. But you don't want these like a rolling boil. You just want it kind of nice and easy like this. And then we're gonna off to make our sauce. All right, what we've got here is a little bit of butter, and we actually want to get this going to where it starts to brown. So we're using whole butter. Just a little bit of salt in there, a little bit of pepper. And once this gets up to kind of getting brown, and you can start seeing it around the edges right here, starting to get brown. It's called a bear nosette. Then we're gonna add our fresh sage leaves, a little bit of pasta water, and we're done. Okay, you can see how brown our sage butter got, which is perfect. It's still nice and hot. We're gonna go ahead and add our ravs to this. We kind of steam up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add all these, I think. A little bit of the pasta water in there is just fine. And then we're literally just gonna kind of toss these up in our beautiful brown butter. And then they're ready to dish up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and lay a few of these right inside here. Nice little pillowy, wonderful ravs. We want some of that sage in there. Over the top, and just a little bit of our brown butter, kind of drizzling over there. Obviously, you can see I made enough for several orders. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Just a little bit of cheese on top. Maybe a nice little garnish of fresh sage on the back of the plate. And there you have it. Pumpkin raviolis with brown sage butter. Hey, thanks for joining us. This looks really difficult, but it's really not. Once you learn how to make raviolis, get the kids involved, they'll have a great time. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you try this at home. See you later.
For Chef Lalanne recipes, go to knopnews2.com or send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Please join us again next Wednesday.